Welcome to the Podcast Editing and Support Show. My name is Dave. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. We're going to start the episode right now. Happy to have you here. Let's do this. Welcome back to the podcast. Glad to have you here. We're chatting more about podcast services and AI. We're going to look at this over the next few episodes. This is the second in 5 that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be looking at standing out while you allow and leverage AI to do some of the heavy lifting behind what you do as a podcast editor and support person. Yeah, it can do some of the heavy stuff. You know, the things that take up a lot of your time. They are difficult to do, and it can free you up to do other things as a podcast editing and support person. So how do we leverage these amazing tools in AI to help us grow our business and do more with less? Glad you're here. Let's get into this. Overall, I think automation is really transforming the podcast editing and support space right now, especially with the rise of all these AI tools. There's a lot of things that are really having that big impact, I guess, on everything that we're doing right now. These amazing AI tools are really starting to automate a lot of the routine things that you and I do day to day. The noise reduction, the audio leveling, the removal of filler words, transcript generation, social media assets, on and on and on and on it goes, right? It helps us really to speed up our tasks and what we do for our production for our clients. This is really helping to do even like more batch editing and some automations that happen in the background. We're off doing something else. Well, AI and our tool set is doing things for us that we would manually be doing back in the day. And with that, I think it's actually helping us to be more productive and to streamline what we're doing and offer better services, I think, to our customers. However, there's some key areas that still really need a human touch in podcast editing and support. The first one is creative editing decisions. So I'll give you an example. For me, and a lot of people that I talk to use Riverside to script to do editing. Now, they do what they do and they do it well. But for me in my workflow, I like having control over my audio fades. I like being able to control where I place my little clips and my sound effects and my whooshes and swipes and all of that stuff, which kind of adds the Dave factor to my podcast and makes my show different than everyone else because it's me and I have creative license to do whatever the heck I want within my show. And I get to show a little bit of my flair. And by showing my flair, it's more fun to throw everything into a tool and have it do everything for you and spit it out at the end of the line and throw it up on your hosting site and off you go. There's not a lot of creativity in that. And I'm a creative person and I love to try new things and kind of flex my creative skills through my editing. Deciding on what to cut out of the podcast, to alter the flow of the conversation, to slow it down and speed it up, to take out things that don't add value to my client and to the listener. Choosing the music and how I edit the song and how I can take a 2-minute song and bring out the best parts and use that song within the episode and cut it up into pieces. These are all things that an AI tool hasn't had the ability to replicate at this point. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy about editing and why I love editing so much. When I tell people I love to edit podcasts, they roll their eyes like, oh my gosh, what's up with this guy? And you know what it feels like. It's just this creative outlet that we have when we get behind the computer and lock into an episode and make it sound amazing. And that's what I love about this. The creative side of what we do, though, is something that's going to be our unique selling point, the unique feature that we offer to our clients. Being able to structure episodes in a way that really serves the story and the brand voice, all of those things are super important. And as a human being at the driver's seat with the steering wheel in our hands, we can direct where we want to go in this podcast by using creative editing and design elements to what we do. That a tool like Descript, as great as it is, and a tool like Riverside, again, as great as it is, is limited when it comes to the creative use of it and how we can make it do what we want it to do instead of us following along with whatever it gives us. That creative editing design, something unique that we have. And it's something that we can offer that really no other AI tool can. And then we also have the ability to have sensitivity in what we do within the context of the show. As a human being, I know what an intentional pause is and what I know a gap is. The script doesn't. It doesn't know. It doesn't have the nuance to understand that a thoughtful pause is probably needed in this part, and a huge gap where our audio tracks got disconnected and there's some drift happening here. I could tighten that up. And I can, as a surgeon, can go in and just operate on one certain section and ignore other pieces of the body when they go in to do surgery. I can go into my editing and I can just make surgical cuts where I need to and leave gaps when my guest is having that thoughtful pause as they consider their next answer. Those pauses, they can actually help the audience to kind of lean in a little bit. So we can offer some contextual sensitivity to what we do just by how we edit the show. We can add in some more emotional moments. We can take care of the mistakes with AI, but it may not recognize the humanity of what's happening in the conversation. And we have a delicate touch and a surgical precision to what we do that AI just can't do. It can't do it right now. It's one of the key areas that require a human touch. And also the relationship management side of everything that we do. AI just can't replicate this. AI is not great at coaching hosts. It's not good at listening and giving back feedback. Yeah, you can jump into ChatGPT, turn on the mic, and it can talk to you. Great. But do you find that ChatGPT just likes to tell you how great you are and everything you ask is wonderful? Great question. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you're great. You're wonderful. There's no pushback. There's no, hey, you could do this better. That sounded like crap. And if you stop talking into your mic that way, you're going to sound better. And it's going to save you time. We can help you say, that part there was really boring. What did you mean by that? Why did you not introduce yourself at the beginning of the podcast? I don't even know who you are. We can offer some great coaching tips, some encouragement. We can provide feedback and context. We can help podcasters develop confidence on the mic and telling better stories. Something that AI can try to replicate but can't do well. These are some of the key areas that we still require that human touch. Again, creative editing choices, having context and sensitivity, and how to manage a relationship and help somebody grow. AI is great, but lacks in these areas. How do we cultivate our unique value proposition then in this world of AI and everything that's going on right now? We can do it through relationship, creativity, and expertise. Cultivating your unique value proposition based on your relationships. By building relationships with your clients and communicating regularly with them, offering consistent encouragement, it really does foster loyalty and trust. Loyalty and trust to an AI tool is not as strong as it is with a person, between two people. As we continue to show up and give coaching and help and support, we listen and support our clients in their communities. We don't just edit and collect our payment. We build relationships with these people. And in those relationships, that's how we grow our client base. That's how we grow and deepen our relationship with our clients themselves. And an AI tool can be replaced tomorrow, but you can't be because of who you are and the relationships that you build with your clients. Cultivate your unique value proposition by building better relationships with your clients. We can also build this value proposition through creative collaboration by bringing in new segments to the podcast, new ideas that your host of the show is completely oblivious to. They have no idea that this is even an option. And because we work on multiple shows, we get to see what other people are doing and bring that context and that nuance and that knowledge to another podcaster and say, you know what We've been doing interview podcasts for the last 20 episodes. What if we do like a solo episode and kind of a recap? What if we bring back that guest that was on before? Because looking at your stats, that was a really good episode. There's stuff that we can do by leveraging our creativity and helping our clients to understand the structure of their show and helping them brainstorm new content, new directions, new thoughts, new ideas, and thinking beyond the edit. It's a big thing that I'm really focused on with this podcast. Think beyond the edit. It's not just the ums and ahs. We can do so much more through podcast editing and support. Think beyond the edit. The last part in all this about how we cultivate our unique value proposition, we talked about relationships. We talked about creativity. Now it's expert guidance, our expertise. As we draw on all this industry knowledge, we listen to Pod News, we listen to all these things, we're learning about what's happening with podcasting 2.0, and we understand what this is and what that is. I am shocked and in awe by podcast editing and support people who have sweet clue of what's happening in podcasting. When you say podcasting 2.0, they go, what's that? What are you talking about? When you talk about this, you talk about that. How about this tool that does this? How about this that does that? There's a blank stare on their face as they're like, like that web page is loading and loading and load. They have no idea what you're talking about. Yet they're charging people hundreds and hundreds of dollars per episode to do their editing, and they know nothing about the space. They don't know anything about podcasting. Your expert guidance is what you need to lean into. So if an AI tool affords you the time to go learn about something in podcasting, you have better value for your clients than if you just ignored the AI tool and did it the old school way because, gosh dang it, that's how I do things. Use the tools, let it create space for you so that you can leverage that time to be a better resource for your client. Stop relying on your lack of knowledge to keep you floating through this world. You're going to get replaced in a heartbeat if you're not growing, if you're not becoming deeper and knowledgeable about podcasting. You need to draw on your industry knowledge. And if you don't have any, you need to go get some. You need to suggest best practices for your podcaster. You need to know what's happening, that audiograms are basically dead, and that when your podcaster keeps asking for them, they're wasting their time and money because they don't have a return. And instead, we should be doing like a face-to-camera. We should be doing a walk and talk on the street. We should be connecting with our audience in different ways because an audiogram is just done. And if you don't know that and you still have that as a service, what does that say about you? You need to be growing and moving with what's happening in podcasting right now. Share your lived experience. Share what you're hearing on other shows as a listener and as an editor. Build confidence in the community and through engagement. Show up in these Facebook groups. Listen, be a fly on the wall and watch the conversations that are happening. You'll be surprised at the lack of knowledge and the lack of depth in the knowledge that people have who do what you do. And in that, you can capitalize on their inexperience. You can capitalize on the fact that they downloaded a program and now they're an editor. You know more. You're a smart person and you need to leverage what you know, because I can tell you there are people charging way more than you are and they have half the knowledge and experience that you have. So why are you giving up in this space? Leverage what you know. Communicate to your clients not just that what you do, but how you do it and how you do it differently and why this approach matters for them. For them. That's the key point. How do we combine all these AI tools then with our personal branding for our podcast editing and support business? As podcast editors and support people, we really need to leverage AI to demonstrate efficiency in what we do, but always pair it with our own personal values and our own personal story. First, we got to be transparent with our clients. Share with our clients how you use AI. Don't hide it behind some curtain like the Wizard of Oz. Don't do that. Share with your clients how you're using it, how your faster turnarounds lowers costs for your client, freeing you up for more higher value collaboration and add-ons and bolt-ons to what you do. when you can come back to your client and say, you know what, we used to do it for this price, but now I can lower the price to this. And instead, I now have this offer. I now have this service. I now offer coaching. I now offer all of these guest services. I offer social media management. I can help you with your website. I can help you with this, and that. If you came to your client and said, I'm lowering your fee, what does that say to your client? Because you have these new tools, it leverages your time. So instead of just hiding these tools from your client and banking the money difference, you could then come back with value. Because if you hide these tools and then your client finds out about them, they might just use the tool themselves and you don't have a client. Be transparent, be open, and share with your client, hey, I got this new tool. It's now saving me 25% of the time that I used to spend on your show. So I'm going to lower your bill. Or we can swap it out and I can offer another service to you at the same price. What do you think? Leverage the AI tools to give you the ability to serve your audience better. And showcase your process. Document your workflow for your audience on your podcast, because you have a podcast, right? On your podcast or on your website, highlight how you blend tech experience and your background. And the best way you can prove that this is working is to use your content. Host your own podcast. I'll say it again for the person in the back. Host your own podcast. To show both how you edit, show them your editing chops and what you do and how you do it, and have a human-centric approach to what you do on your podcast. Let the world hear and see your actions and your values displayed right before them, because you are also a content creator. You're not just the owner and surface person who helps people. You're also in the pool with everybody else, swimming and doing what everyone else is doing. That's how you bring value. Here's 3 different case studies for you, 3 different ways of approaching this, where editors have blended technology with their own personal touch. Okay? Case number 1, the empathetic editor. An editor that uses AI to prepare rough cuts, schedule check-ins, communicate with their clients, and tailor each of these things based on their goals. We can build relationships while saving time by being empathetic and leveraging these tools to give a better service level to our audience and to our clients. Case number 2 is the community coach. By automating all these administrative tasks in the background, a podcast support person runs live podcaster confidence workshops, directly supporting clients and developing the solutions that they need for their shows by doing it with empathy. Something that we can offer is these workshops. Why not teach workshops to your team? Get all of your clients together and have a teaching day. Why not? Leverage these tools to create the space to do that. You're like, I don't have time to do that. Then you're not using the tools effectively because they're out there. Case number 3 is the hybrid creative. This is something that I'm kind of leaning to for myself right now. The editor launches a show that combines both AI-powered production with dialogue-driven storytelling, openly discussing both the tech choices and the artistry behind each episode. Use your episode as an online resume. This is a great idea for you. Have this kind of type of podcast. Create this. Show all of the fancy bells and whistles and all the things that you do by hosting your own show. Don't wait for your client to ask you for it. Go create it yourself. By doing this, you become an example to others of what you can do. And you become very, very attractive to somebody who's looking for somebody just like you. It's a way for you to show off your skills. Podcasters that are like coaches, they bring on clients and do online coaching episodes where they coach their clients on the show. In true fashion, just same fashion, you creating a podcast, using the tools and creating a great episode with sound design, music, effects, and all these great things, different types and formats, you can be a great example to your future client on how you serve them and how you can help them and inspire them at the same time. In an automated world, the one thing that's going to make you stand out is your humanity, your insight, your coaching, and your creativity. All of those things AI doesn't own. You do. Use AI as your ally, but let your unique perspective in relationships lead the way for you and your clients. Leverage your humanity, your insight, your coaching, and your creativity. And use these tools, these AI tools that everyone's so nervous about because they're coming for our jobs. Use these tools to create the time in your calendar to serve your clients better. Again, leverage your humanity, your insight, your coaching, and your creativity, and you're not going to have to worry about AI taking any of those from you because they're uniquely yours and only yours to give away. Go share them. Thanks for listening to the Podcast Editing and Support Show. Visit us at podcasteditingandsupport.com, podcasteditingandsupport.com. We would love to help you find a great podcast editor, or if you want to hire us, we would love to work with you. Podcasteditingandsupport.com. Catch you on the next episode. Take care.